Even the whole week, you know, I felt like, not the whole week, but like the last 2 days, I felt like the hometown jitters. The hometown fights, they are the worst. And I kind of felt it going into it, like from yesterday to the day, I felt it going into it. But I got the job and I kept the belt, and I'm happy for that, but I'm definitely not happy about my performance.
What made it so difficult in your opinion? What made it so difficult? Maybe because he was just like, I
He
feel like he didn't engage that much.
He came to survive. I mean, I know what he came. He came to survive. He didn't want to be knocked out. He came to survive, and you know, it was just like I was chasing him. I just had to chase him for 12 rounds.
Does the represent any surprises that you weren't expecting?
Just the running around. I mean, I thought he was going to engage more, but then when I did drop him, I think that was the third round. Then he really just ran around even more.
Can you explain what you meant about the hometown jitters? How are you experiencing that?
Because it's like everybody you ever know is like here, you know, like everybody, like, you know, everybody's like dealing with tickets and dealing with so many different things, and it literally will get to you, you know. So it's just, I think that's a natural part of things, like the hometown jitters thing. That's just a natural part of it.
So you found yourself getting nervous in a way that you normally wouldn't. Sorry.
I don't know who to answer first.
You found yourself getting nervous and worrying about the fight in a way that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, I think so. It was. It's something that just happens. I guess it's just like I said, the hometown jitters thing. It just happens. Like my last fight when I bought Zepeda, I feel like Zepeda was a way better fighter, and I fought in LA, and I was just way more comfortable with it. But when I fought here in New Orleans, it just was, you know, because you have so much pressure on you, and yeah, the pressure kind of gets to you.
Is that going to be a problem next time then? Because Matchroom want to bring you back here, don't they?
Yeah, well, we got to talk about that with Matchroom now. So it depends. You know, it all depends. But I don't think next time we probably go on the road. Then we'll maybe come back here down the line, but not next.
Was the camp at home hard for you, or different than what you would normally do if the camp was somewhere else?
Here, when it was here?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, camp was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did camp. Camp was cool here, bro. Like, I wasn't distracted. I wasn't disturbed or nothing like that for camp. You know, but it's just like I said, the fight is totally different from camp. It's always going to be a big difference from camp.
How did this compare to Velasco when you came in for the first time? When you talk about being
same thing, bro. Nervous. I was nervous. Yeah, for the same thing. This was even bigger scale. Right. You know, this was definitely a bigger scale, and this was a better fighter than Velasco.
Right.
What'd you make of the scorecards overall? You're looking all over the place. What you thought about that?
I mean, I definitely feel like I won it. I didn't see how they scored it for him, but I mean, what else? I don't think it was close, but I know my performance definitely wasn't good.
What adjustments do you think you should have made throughout the fight to maybe have a better performance to your liking?
Just cut him off more. And I feel like now I can say that I should have been. A lot of times I was doing a throw out jab, but I should have been stepping with my jab instead of just trying to throw the setup jab, you know. And then after I dropped him, I definitely should have just, you know, cut him off more and stuff like that and throw more shots to the body.
How were you getting frustrated in the fight when you couldn't put him away and he kept Big Al on the fortune?
Yeah, I was getting a little frustrated for sure. I definitely was getting frustrated. Yeah.
How much trouble do you think he was in when you knocked him down? Do you think he was in trouble?
I didn't really see how he fell, to be honest. So I don't know. He got up kind of okay. I didn't think he was in like super trouble. I mean, he could have been in a little trouble, but I don't think it was like lights out time.
It's a good shot. He damn near did a backflip.
Oh, I didn't really see it. I dropped him and then I just went to, you know, I already went to the neutral corner.
I feel like you should have maybe had a camp. I know you said it was like 6 weeks. You know, I know you mentioned the Matchroom camp. Basically, called you, hey, you gotta fight. You gotta set this up no matter what. I feel like maybe your training camp wasn't maybe not 100%. Maybe you just wanted to take it.
No, definitely never. I would never say that my training camp was 100%. That's never going to be an excuse for me. No, I trained. You know, we had a switch of opponents, but I still trained like that. It was just like I said. The opponent, he just came. He just ran around. That was it.
I couldn't hear what you said in the ring when you were asked about the first round. Were you knocked down then?
I think it looked like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like when it happened, I was like, that wasn't a knockdown because I did fall on his feet, but then he did hit me with a shot, and so it looked like I got.
Did it feel like a knockdown?
No, that's what I'm saying. In the ring, it didn't feel like a knockdown at all.
So you didn't take the second round off just to recover?
No, I wasn't never hurt in the fight at all. I mean, I think I have some stuff on my face, but I never he never hit me with a shot that was like, all right, this dude really hit hard. It wasn't nothing like that. No.
When you said you were getting the jitters a little bit, we've had this week where everyone's been talking about how Tio Lopez was, and you said you wanted to stop being asked about it, which I do understand. But do you think that added to the pressure you felt on the time?
Of course, definitely. I mean, it's a natural thing, you know, and sometimes you might overlook things. You have, you know, I have so many big opportunities in front of me for so much big, crazy money, and so sometimes you look past these opponents, and I think naturally that's kind of what you will do, and maybe I did do that. I was looking past. I mean, I guess I was looking past the world.
Is it easier to not look past if you're not at home? Do you think that just all kind of just adds up at once to?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, the hometown jitters thing, that's just a real thing, bro. Like, I've seen so many fighters, they go on the road and they perform so good, and then, you know, they have so many fighters that they come home and they just look terrible because you just have so much pressure on you, and you got so much pressure the whole week.
Is the way New Orleans is, like loving the good times and loving the partying and the meetings and all that, also kind of work against you as you're trying to kind of prepare to fight at this level?
Yeah, but that's if you live here. Yeah, I don't live here. You know, I'm here all the time, but I don't live here. So I think for sure, yeah, that definitely could.
He was just said he was quote unquote scouting.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, you know, the fight with Devin Haney presenting, because I know Eddie said they're gonna make him a proposal after this fight.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think overall? You know, do you feel like a fight with Devin Haney would just exercise immediately after this? A question for both of y'all.
Yeah, for me, it's up to Regis. I mean, you know, I think that the great thing about tonight is there's going to be a lot of people queuing up to fight. I've not mentioned any of those big names. Mention Regis's name before tonight. Other than Devin, fair play to him. But now I think you're going to see people actually target Regis Prograis and say, oh, I think he might be beatable now, which we know that there's, you know, completely different performance to come from Regis Prograis. That's the one thing that I'm happy about. And, you know, I believe Devin wants that fight. Now, don't forget, he's a champion, and Devin's going to be coming up challenging, but we give him respect. He's undisputed lightweight world champion, but he's got 5 or 6 options. Really.
Would a championship fight like with Rolly or something like that? Or
listen, Rolly might even fancy it now. I don't think so, but Rolly's no, but listen, Rolly's going to get beat by anybody, right? So he needs the biggest payday he can get to give up his belt. Teofimo hasn't vacated the title. Teofimo against Regis Prograis is a fucking great fight. Devin Haney against Regis Prograis is a fucking great fight. Tank against Regis Prograis is a fucking great fight.
What kind of fight is it?
A fucking great fight. And the thing is, we're not going to see the best of Regis in fights like that. And by the way, I've got to be honest, I was disgusted with Zurilla's performance. Because I think Regis could have been better. He should have cut the ring off better. There's lots of things, like, you know, when you get a chance like that to come and win a world title, and by the way, the guy can fucking punch. Zurilla. It's not like he couldn't have won the fight if he would have stood there and let his hands go and traded. Who knows? But like, that's the disappointment. And you know, Regis needed to be better. Like, you're going to see the best of him against elite opposition.
Can you understand that now that's why I get the champion?
I'm lost.
When was the last time you had an opponent that bad on one of your cards?
It wasn't. Listen, he's a good fighter. It wasn't
that bad a performance.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when someone feels the power, when someone doesn't actually want to engage, it's easy for us to sit there and say, come on, do this, let your hands go. He's probably thinking, fuck that. I don't want, excuse me, we'd be quiet up the back, please. Thank you. He's probably thinking, yeah, I'll fucking let my hands go. Fuck that, I don't want to let my hands go. This guy's, he's a savage. So, I don't blame, you can never blame a fighter for not wanting to engage. But he made the fight reasonably close because no one really got a chance to land anything. But it was the knockdown and other stuff as well. But it wasn't that he was bad. It was just disappointing for him that he never really came to win the fight.
Regis, what do you learn about just yourself and maybe like fighting a guy who is trying to survive? Like, what do you do different, kind of looking at your performances?
I just go back in the gym and improve. That's the main thing. Go back, talk to my coaches, go back in the gym and, work on different things. And like I said, a lot of it had to do with, you get the hometown thing, the hometown jitters and stuff like that. I think that played a part in it for me. But even overall, I still have to go back in the gym and work on some things.
The other thing I'll say is that we sat in a steak restaurant 7 weeks before this fight and made a decision to take this date. He probably had a 6-week camp. No excuses, it was still,
No excuses, I don't make that excuse.
But no, I will, because I don't, at the end of the day, that it was different. weight was a little bit different, you know, all those things normally on an 8, 10, 12-week camp that you'd have for an elite guys, you know.
Did you ever feel threatened by Zerrell in that fight at all? Any moment?
Like I said, he was strong, but I just never felt like, I felt stronger punches. So I never felt threatened at all.
What's the fight got past about the 9th round? Were you feeling like any pressure to finish it off, or is this just going to have to play itself out like this?
Yes and no. It was like sometimes it's like, man, I feel like I need to step it up. My coach was like, man, like step it up, start throwing more punches and stuff like that. But at the same time, I just don't want to go out there and get careless, like because of the hometown crowd, because of the hometown jitters. I heard people saying my name, Regis and Ruger and all that stuff, and then when you hear that, you can play into that stuff, and then that's when something bad could happen. So I actually reversed that. I was like, nah, I'm not about to play into that. Let me just go out here and kind of stay smart.
When fighters are in the ring, they say they get into a zone. They don't really hear anything outside of it. Did you hear anybody close to you, family members, friends, anybody that you?
I hear people all the time. Yeah,
okay.
I definitely hear people all the time.
Roy Jones Jr. was here and he was happy about the performance, and he said he would like to see that fight against Devin Haney. Are you happy overall just having Roy Jones Jr., a legendary fighter?
That's my fight. I told Roy, I'm cool with Roy, so I'm definitely glad all the people came out. Roy, along with a lot of other people, came out for sure.
Any fresh was here?
I mean, there's a lot of people came out.
Mac Main.
Who else was here?
Yellow BZ, Mac Main.
Half the city was here. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
A lot of people came
Big
out,
Perk,
so I'm definitely
Greg
shout out to
Monroe.
all of you, I'm glad everybody came, but like I said, for me, bro, I want to be the best in the world, and after this, I definitely have to go and improve.
Is your next fight, and this is for Regis and Eddie, is the next fight going to be a unified fight?
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to. I think every champion should try and unify as quickly as possible, but also I feel like he's in the prime of his career. I want to make him the biggest fights for the most amount of money and the biggest platform, the biggest moments in boxing. And I feel like with everybody moving to 140, the WBC title is a prestigious belt. I feel like it's probably the most prestigious title right now at 140 pounds. So people should be calling us. They should be calling us to fight Regis Prograis. Maybe they'll do it now. But, I think he's not going to be short of fights.
Eddie, I know if you get one of those fights like Haney, it'll be Vegas, but you were saying you wanted Regis to come back to your ASAP. He's just spoken about hometown jitters. Is that going to be a concern?
No, I think that there's Vegas opportunities, there's Middle East opportunities, there's fights around the world. I'd like to build, we had 5 weeks to sell the fight tonight. I think we had 6,000 in or whatever it was. I think we've done a good job, but there's still a lot more to come. I think, again, with all due respect to Zerrilla, it wasn't exactly a name that, was going to set the city on fire. But, I think a big name would be great here, but you could see Regis away from here, maybe in Vegas, later in the year, and, he will box obviously one more time this year. We'd like that to be sooner rather than later, but he's going to want to go back with coach and assess it, have a little break and go again.
And you keep mentioning about a big name. I know it's been thrown out there, the possibility of your friends of Agent Broner. That fight also could do very well. 2 great fighters. Regis Prograis, you could do it here, you can in Houston.
I like Broner. I think he's great. I also think he's a little bit unreliable. I don't think, for me, when we talk about legacy, that's not a legacy fight. And I know Regis is chasing legacy as well. Unifications, big names, but Broner's a big name, but he's the boss. Regis is the boss, so we'll be providing him with options, and he'll be letting us know which ones he wants to fight.
Would you rather have a unification fight or a really big fight with somebody like that?
It depends, bro. It depends on whatever. When me and Eddie sit down and talk, it depends on what's next. It all depends. There's so many options out there. I'm in such a good moment in the spot right now to where I have so much on the table. So we'll have to throw some names out there, give me some dates, and we'll just see. I don't know.
You've been meeting Bill Haney while he's in town.
Yeah, I met him earlier. Yeah, they won the fight. He looked over me in the 10th round and went. And listen, I like Bill, and they're simple. They're talking to us. They're talking to the Middle East, and I told them, if you want to fight in the Middle East, you better make us a big offer, and we'll consider that as well. It's not just a case of him coming on our show. I've said to Regis when we signed him, I have no problem letting him working with him to take a fight somewhere else, if it's life-changing opportunity, if it's massive money, if it's legacy, if it's everything. So we're flexible, and there's no excuses. We're not here to talk about the other side of the street and politics and bollocks. If they want the fight, and then we have to go to another platform, if we have to go to another country, if it's the right option for Regis Prograis, we'll do it.
So there'll be a meeting in Bill before he leaves.
Yeah, I'm going to see Devin. I'm seeing Devin in New York next week.
How does it feel for you right now after years and years to have as many options right now as you do to move your
I
career?
mean, it's great. It's definitely a great time to be me. Besides the fight, my performance and stuff like that. But as far as now, the fight is over. I'm gonna go assess myself. I'm gonna go look at it myself and go make some improvements. And then after that, me and Eddie, we gonna talk and then see what's next. See what's next on the table.
Regis, what's the party like tonight in New Orleans going to be like? I feel like you should
It's
be a
gonna
little
be
happier, man. You got a victory.
Man,
you know what I
look,
mean?
bro. It's a victory and it's cool. I keep my belt, bro, but I want to look. Every time I go out, I want to look spectacular. I want to look better. So I do feel a little down right now. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, we got some stuff planned. We definitely, all my people here, y'all all come out. We'll have. I don't know who married, who not.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
We'll turn off the phones. During the weekend, you mentioned it was the focus totally on you, and I respect that. But like I said, Eddie Hearn said, and we all say, you have endless of options. We can name. We talked about Haney, we talked about Romer. What about a fight with Tio? I know you also said you would like a rematch against Josh Taylor. And you're in the 140. What fight interests you the most, Tio or Josh Taylor? If Tio is supposedly, which I don't think he's retired.
Tio for sure. Tio. I mean, Josh Taylor said he's going to 47. Obviously, I'm the WBC champion at 140, so obviously I'm going to stay at 140. But I think the Tio fight is bigger. Obviously, just a bigger fight than Josh Taylor fight. So I would Tio.
Yeah. What makes it bigger?
I mean, I think he's the champion. I think he's a bigger name. He just beat Josh Taylor and beat him convincingly, really, So I think the Tio fight is. I mean, you can tell me. I don't know, but for me personally, I think if me and Tio fight, it'll be a bigger fight than me and Josh Taylor.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, if going through the media throughout the week, hear when you spoke to Max Kelly when you said, if Josh Taylor rematch takes place, I would welcome that. Just something
For
that
sure. Of course.
Do you think that's realistic, Eddie? Do you think Bob would make that fight?
Yeah, like I said, there's no excuse. Because, what people come out with now and say, oh, we're not doing that fight on DAZN. It's no problem, do it on Top Rank. Do it on ESPN. What? Yeah, we do it on ESPN. Oh. You know what I mean?
You people want to do that?
100%. I don't give a fuck. I just tell DAZN, I said, look, and they understand. So maybe we'll share it, maybe we'll do it like, ultimately, we want to make the best fights. And I just got a message from Devin Haney. And I said, I'm in a press conference, can I show them that? And he said, yeah. And that's what he sent me. He's happy. He's ready.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Hopefully that can be the next fight. Me and Devin Haney.
A name we have.
One fight that he would say no to. Obviously, it's got to be right, but it's not even like you get like, we won't.
Nobody.
Not one fight.
It's all about the money, bro. That's it. I'll fight anybody. It's just.
But I'm also saying, and you will get the most money. You ain't even difficult about that. It's not like, oh, if I'm going to fight him, it's got to be a number that's just, you price yourself out. What I'm saying is you'll get the right number, but you will. All those names, right. you will fight them. Right. And that's great to work.
He wouldn't fight me. I'm his mom.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Regis. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I live in Baltimore now, but I'm a native of New Orleans from the West Bank. City is very proud of you. I think there hasn't been anybody since John Duplessis that's been relatively, on the scene as far as boxing, before you came along.
Right.
From a bucket list standpoint, is Undisputed on that list? Clean out the division?
It's like yes and no because I want the big fights, man. I want the it's just a yes and no. I mean, for me, I'm gonna take fights one by one. That's all I'm gonna take fights one by one. Yeah, I definitely want to be undisputed, but it's so many other big fights. Like if he come to me and say we can get Devin next, or you can fight Roly, it's like I fight Devin. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather fight Devin because it's a bigger fight. It's, I think it's a bigger it's just a bigger name fight. But I would want to be undisputed. But it's so many. I have so many options right now, so it's just like we'll have to just talk and then we'll see what happens next. That's all.
Does that feel surreal coming from where you came from, where it was difficult to get a match?
Oh, for sure, bro. It's pinched me, bro. I'm dreaming, bro. Like coming from where I come from, like I never even thought like this is possible. And, like I'm one of the biggest stages, one of the biggest promoters. You know, we packed the house tonight. All my people here, like I'm loving it.
Right, guys. Well done, Regis.
Thank you.